Alrighty, y'all. Today we're going to be reacting to Zach and Gavin of the Vanguard responding to the Cavernacle for calling them out for their coverage of TYT. Alrighty, let's get into it.
Right. Point. All right, let's go.
More in my realm as a second case study, and that is Anna Kasparian. So I checked for myself. I have made 3 videos on Anna Kasparian. We need
So this guy also makes anti-TYT videos apparently, but he does them in the correct way. This is how you're supposed to do it, Zach. If you want to criticize the Young Turks, take notes, guys. This is the respectful, polite, and classy way to do it.
Let's talk about TYT. I'm disappointed. Anna, Jenk.
There is no right way to call people out. If they're doing something wrong, you call them out.
And trans rights. Why so many people are leaving the extreme woke left. This was focusing on an interview she gave like 6 months ago, and why Novara Media could be the next TYT. And I talked about Jenk and Anna. So in one of those videos, I focused on Anna specifically. On the other 2, I focused on both of them. And what I went out of my way to do as someone who did have this respect for Anna, especially growing up, is I tried not to make it super personal. I tried to make it as much as possible not an excuse for people just to say terrible things. You guys will know I don't like drama. I don't normally like call
Can we pause it?
individual creators out on our side. I just don't like doing that.
Yeah, so this guy's problem is that we do media critique, and that's what it always boils down to, right? This guy is like, I don't like talking about drama. I don't like talking about people on our side, right? It's like, yeah, well, I do. So you can cry about it.
But at the same time, of course, not that I've read it recently, there's probably comments in there saying
Remember, y'all, the Vanguard is doing God's work.
pretty terrible stuff about Anna. And that's something you just cannot stop when you're making a video on someone. But also, I would feel really icky if I just kept making videos on Anna Kasparian, because it comes to a point of like, why are you even doing this in the first place? Now, again, I'm not.
The reason we're doing it is because it's working. It's working. It's working, bro. We've been doing this since way before you caught on that TYT was selling out. We have now, from my fucking house, almost taken down a 6 million sub network that was using the name of progressivism to lead people to the right, to launder the reputation of fascists, to lead.
This may not be personal for him, but it's personal for us.
People astray. And guess what? I'm not going to bite my tongue because, oh, these guys say they're progressives and I'm a progressive too. Hot chop. Let's have a couple of cold brewskis and pretend we don't disagree about nothing, huh? Like, that's not how I roll, okay? I am a media critic. Okay, so I
one of the
my
best
criticizing media. Okay, the fact that your whole beef is that I opened my mouth about somebody who has a D next to their name instead of an R next to their name lets me know that this is an irrelevant criticism. I'm sorry.
Until we get money out of politics, it's fuck all Democrats and fuck all Republicans who are taking big money donors.
Interrupting too much, but this is
also, like, you know, I think, you know, he starts by saying I had respect for Anna Kasparian. I don't understand why they're making so many videos about her. Well, do you not watch the videos, bro? Like, because we talk about it constantly, why we make the videos.
Of course he doesn't watch it. And on that note, we all used to watch it, and we all used to watch TYT back in the day when they were actually progressive. But now that they're turning away, this is our job to make sure that people know this is no longer the home of progressives, and the new home of progressives is the Vanguards. Go to change.org/home_of_progressives and sign the petition.
And why it's relevant to talk about. We constantly address that. And part of the reason is because of Anna's ideological evolution. I also used to have respect for Anna. Of course you did too. Of course we all did. That's the point, bro. That's why it makes this such an interesting case study, specifically because she spent so much time talking about Dave Rubin and his ideological evolution and calling out Jimmy Dore for his ideological evolution, his pivot to the right. You know, it's all
Dave
in
Rubin.
this context, and it's constantly discussed.
Calling out these people like some sort of active misogynist, and that's the Vanguard. And if you type in that Vanguard Anna Kasparian, they've made loads of videos on her, especially as she has reacted more to them. So as they've made more videos on her, she's commented on these videos and they've made more videos on that. And it's just like a self-perpetuating cycle of they say something about her, she doesn't like it.
It's really breaking news.
Then she reacts, they keep making videos. And the narrative they have with this right now is that it's just basically making her more insane. Now, I'm not going to go through.
And I like how he doesn't actually address the nature of her comments. He just says, well, she makes a comment and they do a video on it, and then she comments on that video, and then they do another video upon it. But it's like, It's not like she's just saying anything. It's not like she's just talking about the kind of tea she drank for breakfast or what she had for lunch or some shit like that. It's not like we're just attacking her over nothing. Let's actually examine some of the comments and question. The last one we did a video on
He's just being a cuck because she's pretty.
was her threatening to nuke our channel, and not just our channel, but any smaller YouTube channel that criticizes the Young Turks by reacting to members only content.
Don't worry, guys. If they nuke your channel and you make another channel, we'll all subscribe to it. If you can't do content on YouTube, whatever platform you go to, we'll follow.
Content from their bonus episode, which, by the way, constantly also gets posted on their main channel. That's the sort of commentary we're reacting to, not just threats against our fucking livelihood and our channel, but also smears of our friends and colleagues. Literally, people we've had on this show multiple times. People like Lance, who was just on. People like Emma Vigeland, who was just on last month. Anna has been lying about these people who, again,
See, TYT deserves the attacks. All these people that Gavin is talking about, they don't deserve those attacks. They're good people with good hearts fighting for progressive values, for a progression into society to make things better for people of minorities. Unlike these people who are shitting on minorities and ain't standing up for nothing. And if you don't stand up for nothing, you'll fall for anything.
again, are our friends, but more importantly than that, are our ideological allies in this fight against Donald Trump, MAGA, the establishment of the Democratic Party, neoliberalism, and fascism. So, yeah, I have a beef with you if you're lying about those people, smearing their reputations, and degrading the legitimacy of their very sound arguments as you simultaneously hype up the right-wing bad faith actors.
Yeah, exactly. It is the necessity of liberal media critique, left media critique, right? And I guarantee you this guy doesn't give a fuck if you go and spend all day long talking about Tim Pool. I don't think he would care if you spent all day reacting to Dave Rubin videos, making hundreds of videos about Joe Rogan or Ben Shapiro or any of these other loud, obnoxious commentators on the right who do nothing but spew vile bigotry basically all day long, nonstop, right? Well, guess what, guys? Sometimes people on the left decide they want to get in on that gravy train too. And then we, as people who follow left-wing politics, who listen to all of these, contributors, these people who make content for a living, who have a direct, at least professional relationship with people like Emma Vigeland, like Lance from the Surfs, like you mentioned, but also other people like, Hank, who was a guy that was working for TYT that's now making a documentary about how they busted his union. Okay, did you do any commentary about that?
They're digging their own hole, so don't get at the Vanguard when they cover that shit, because everything that TYT has been doing, they deserve to be attacked for.
No, of course not, because you're too busy trying to be like, oh my God, we can only talk about the Republicans over here. Don't you know that's improper manners, my good guy? And it's like, bro, we're allowed to talk about whoever we want. And, we were reacting to that Bill Burr clip the other day, talking about how, the left is killing any real resistance to Donald Trump and Elon Musk because they can't get out of their own fucking way. You know what I mean? Like they went too far, it pissing people off, and now nobody wants anything to do with them. It's like we have to learn from that, right? You can't just pearl clutch. You can't just be like, oh, you can only talk about things the way I want you to talk about them, right? This guy wants to portray us as like a bunch of misogynist antagonists, and that's fine. We can beat that case. We can beat.
Apparently the people want it, because I don't know if you've seen, but their subscriber count has just been skyrocketing lately.
That allegation. You guys know us. You know what we're about. I was raised by women. Okay, all the best people I know are women. All the people I admire most in this world are women, right? Pretty much in real life. You know what I mean? Besides Gavin. And I just don't have that in my heart. So I just don't really take it as a sincere criticism.
Yeah, well, let's let him make the case against us, before
we stand the Vanguard around here.
Respond to it, because you have yet to be confronted with the evidence that, in fact, Zach, you are a sexist.
Here we go.
Through their comment section, and I don't know how much they moderate it, but if you want to, for yourself, go on one of these videos and look how far you have to scroll to see the word calling her Anna Karen Sparian, or just calling her a Karen or something like that. And like I said,
Anna Asparagus
is inherently misogynistic, but they are, even with their thumbnails, playing into this framing that Anna is some unstable, emotional woman.
She is.
She is. She is. And the reason why people are calling her a Karen in our comment section is because she's a fucking Karen. You know what Karens do? They try to call the manager. You know what Anna Kasparian just did? Tried to call the manager on us. Literally. She threatened to get YouTube involved and copyright strike us into oblivion as a YouTube channel for reacting to TYT content, even under the guidelines of fair use because it was members only, but honestly, really because we were being critical of it. She's a fucking Karen. And yes, she's also currently emotionally unstable. And that is manifesting in her unhinged behavior on air and her bullshit right wing commentary. That's the reality of the situation. Sorry.
You know where all this started. I remember way back in the day, Anna would talk about going home and watching Fox News. And that's why she's been tripping and changing up her whole thought process, because it's a propaganda network and they brainwashed her and red pilled her into all this crazy bullshit, punching down on people instead of punching up on people.
That we're recognizing it.
Is being triggered because the Vanguard are making such excellent arguments countering all her transphobia or right-wing or more conservative talking points now in regards to like immigration or crime and stuff. The thing is, if Anna Kasparian is going crazy from this criticism, a lot of it is not to do with the criticism. It's to do with the over focus on her talking points and all the comments all saying stuff about her. Because 100%, just like with myself,
well, get some new talking points then.
There's going to be so many comments in there which have misinterpreted what Anna said or took it in bad faith or didn't even really listen to what she was saying.
So
and
what?
They're going to be spreading rumors about her, making her seem that she is worse than she really is. Now, again, these guys who make these videos, they probably don't see it this way. And I've heard them actually say this. They say it's fair game. It's YouTube. This is how YouTube works. You make call-out videos on each other. That's how it's always been. And TYT have done it themselves. And yes, of course, TYT also have these main characters. But also you have to realize sometimes the power dynamic. So to the Vanguard, they're thinking
the
TYT
power
is also
dynamic.
millions.
That's the most. This guy is so he's trying so hard to be sophisticated and smart, but he has no argument against us other than the fact that like I'm a good liberal and lefty, and these guys are unserious because they make jokes, they crack jokes, and they call themselves Silly and Billy. Bro, we call ourselves Silly and Billy. Okay, they have 6 million subscribers. You have over double the amount of subscribers that we have, and you're still out here pearl clutching for Anna, 6 million subscriber. Okay, and you're also acting like we send Anna emails, like we follow her home from work, like we're antagonizing her constantly. Like you don't get to make a living broadcasting your thoughts and then being free of other people's responses to those thoughts, right? Like the same way that you're allowed to make this video about us and we're allowed to respond to it. And I would never ever say, I'm going to nuke your channel because you tried to make, like, that's stupid, right? That would be ridiculous. But
because the Vanguard has morals.
like that, it is how YouTube works. That is the ecosystem that you're functioning on. And this is not a place for you to be like, I'm the only revolutionary around. It's like, if you look left and look right and you're like, I'm the only revolutionary around, it's because you're making freaking YouTube videos in your house.
Yeah, and this is crazy. We're going to go back a few seconds because Zach understandably, got excited and cut in, but he's literally about to explain how in this power dynamic, we're the ones with the power and she's somehow the victim. Like we're a boss and she's like a lowly employee or something crazy like that, even though this is a like 40-year-old woman deep into her professional career, co-host and executive producer of a huge channel with millions of subscribers. But we're somehow, again, the victimizer. Somehow there's a power dynamic here that is it's you guys can.
No, what it really is she's a grifter and she don't like getting called out on it because she calls so many other people out on it. But she's doing the same old shit.
Take a look. This is crazy, though. I don't understand this argument.
Subs, we've got 100,000. Surely there is have these main characters, but also you have to realize sometimes the power dynamic. So to the Vanguard, they're thinking TYT's got 6 million subs. We've got 100,000. Surely there is no power dynamic at play there. But I think if you think there isn't, you're really overestimating both how popular the Young Turks is and how popular Anna is as an individual.
You're welcome.
And how popular she would be if she left TYT, I don't know, to start her own YouTube channel. Maybe she could be really successful. I just don't think she would even reach.
And half of her viewers would probably be right-wing Republicans. And if she ever did leave TYT, best believe that would be when she goes full right, full MAGA. No ifs, ands, or buts. I'd put $100 on it. Shoot, I'd put $10,000 on it.
The top tiers of leftist YouTube at this point. And also, it comes to a point as well when you're a certain creator, not many people make criticism videos of you. There aren't that many videos criticizing my talking points because of my size, right? So if someone started making videos on me regularly, I would probably notice, because either their audience would come to me and start saying stuff, or some person who doesn't care about my feelings would send me the video itself. And if that happened, it's obviously going to get in your head. Like, even some of the videos and comments I watched today,
It's so bizarre because he doesn't actually really address any of the substance of the criticisms we've made of Anna Kasparian. He's just like, yeah, it would also drive me crazy if someone started criticizing me and being really mean to me. But it's like, you're not guilty of what Anna's guilty of, the Cavernacle. Like, I don't watch this guy's content all that much, but he's definitely not guilty of the sort of commentary that we've criticized Anna Kasparian for. He doesn't engage in this sort of like fear mongering about crime, this pro police propaganda, this transphobia, doing segments about Trinda Ragua a month before the
Trans rights or else.
election, thoroughly red pilling, her audience against the left right before a pivotal election, right? Kavernacle hasn't done any of that. So why would someone make videos? Why would someone criticize you relentlessly? I don't understand.
See, the Vanguard's critique is valid, and that's why this guy has no better talking points than to shit on them, except for what they're actually talking about.
Understand how this is even a valid defense of Anna, because he's not bringing up any of the specifics of what we've said.
You can't defend
like
Anna.
It's invalid inherently because he used to be a fan of Anna and he thinks we're being too hard on her. It's like, okay, well, I'm sorry.
Most of the Vanguard audience was probably fans of Anna back in the day. So try again.
You can go watch fucking Democracy Now, bro. You don't have to watch our show.
Yeah, his whole argument is these guys say they're on the left and they talk about Anna Kasparian too much for my taste. It's like, bro, you're not a showrunner. You're not our producer. Like, I probably think that, you know what I, and again, I'm sure this is a really nice guy, but he has the energy of the kind of dude, like, it's like you meet him at a party and the first thing he tells you is he's a feminist. Like, it just kind of like is a little bit of an eye roll, this kind of critique that he's offering over here. And the other reality is he talks about how Anna's not, competent or successful enough to make it on her own. I would call that misogynistic, right? I left a comment on this from the Vanguard account trying to be thoughtful. And I was like, bro, the knee-jerk reaction to coddle and infantilize this woman who is not a damsel in distress, but a professional broadcaster with 15 years experience talking about politics.
15 years.
Lie in traffic for her because a channel with less than 100,000 subs decided that we were going to be critical, not just of her, but of that entire network. We've made countless videos about Jank using the same kind of up-close video thumbnail style that you've decided is Karen-coded and misogynistic. We've made videos of John Iadarola. We've made videos of Jordan Ewell. We've made videos of Francesca Fiorentini. We've made videos all about the network because the whole theme of our channel was doing left media critique, right? And we realized that we were going to be able to seriously disrupt the reputation of this network that was laundering right-wing talking points to their audience and also pretending to be audience funded when they were not. So this is actually a corporate media critique. Imagine that you have decided that you are going to lie in traffic because we criticized a female host on MSNBC or CNN. You know what I mean? And we routinely do that because they routinely get up there and sling mud at the trans community. They routinely get up there and sling mud and throw dirt on the unhoused community. They blamed the Los Angeles Palisades fires on homeless people smoking drugs on that network. Okay? They have taken all kinds of unsavory corporate cash. We have an obligation as media critics to call that out and to dispel those lies. And I'm not going to bite my tongue because this.
And we on the left, we the progressives appreciate you, brothers.
This white woman gets her feelings hurt. That's crazy. And to his point about how it would get to him if people made content about him every day, bro, grow up. When we had 28,000 subscribers and I had quit my job for the first time, we had about half a dozen channels that were 3 or 4 times bigger than us talking about how we were dirt on the bottom of everyone else's shoe. Revolutionary Blackout Network, Do Dissidents, fucking the Jimmy Dore Show. We had people calling us out when we were fucking peanut sized. We lost all of our subscribers, basically. We cratered. All of our Patreon support went out the window because we challenged Jimmy Dore. We were like, this guy's a grifter. This guy is leading people astray. We didn't care. We doubled, tripled, quadrupled down on it. And we had people making hateful content about us all the time. Why? Because it's YouTube, dog. That's what the fucking road is. You know what?
Nah, it's because it's good critique and they don't have anything to fight against it. We stand the Vanguard around here for a reason. And it's because they're speaking truth and facts.
Play it. Can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen, bro. But That's the way it
100%.
is.
And if you think we lied about something specifically, then fucking bring it up and disprove it. Show people how we lied. But what's with this vague pearl clutching over the tone and the people in our comments accurately identifying Karen Kasparian as a Karen? Like, get the fuck over yourself, bro. That's crazy. But let's keep watching. And again, I'm trying not to be mean because this guy seems very nice and his heart seems so in the right place. But
They've hella overreacted. It was all for tepid, mild criticism, and then they just lashed out at me. I don't understand. I'm a Brit person. I've got to pear clutch.
He sounds like a cuck.
It's getting in my head because I'm like, what, does everyone think this? Like, does everyone think this about me? Does everyone think I've said this? And the misinformation is what can drive you crazy more so than the criticism. Because when you're watching a criticism of yourself from another creator,
we've never spread misinformation about Anna Kasparian. She,
Not
however, has
once.
spread misinformation about some of her critics to the left, people like Emma Vigeland and Ben Dixon. We've debunked those lies, but we do not traffic in misinformation. We don't spread it about the people that we criticize.
If the Kavernacle wants to call out the Vanguard, then he needs to actually watch the videos and study the situation. And if he did, he would realize that the Vanguard is in the right.
They said I worked on Wall Street on air at the Young Turks, which is hilarious. I have fucking hand and finger tattoos. You think they're hiring me on Wall Street? That's crazy.
Yeah. And by the way, if we ever do spread misinformation, like the closest we've ever come to is a clear joke about like, oh, Anna drives a Porsche or something. Like, okay, maybe she actually drives a freaking Maserati. Sorry. But, you know, obviously.
She drives a Corolla. I think so do I. That was the joke.
sir, that's just like you and them. Okay, I made a video, you've called me out, and you've criticized what I said. Now I'll go to the comments. Is there anyone expanding on what this criticism was? Oh no, everyone is just saying random shit that has nothing to do with the video, and loads of people just venting their hatred for me just because they feel like this has given them permission. Now, there aren't too many women in the leftist YouTube space, and yeah, the Vanguard are on friendly terms with people like Emma, and I think they had Francesca on as well. At the same time, like I said,
but we are friendly.
Scale. Misogyny is a scale, and just because you're a man who's a feminist and a man who supports women,
he's like, so all the other women in the media space that Anna Kasparian has smeared, lied about, and demonized, all those people are cool with Zach and Gavin, but misogyny is a scale, and this is still somehow unacceptable, even though these other women in the space who I'm speaking for have no problem with it and have literally endorsed it. Literally fucking endorsed the commentary that we give by appearing on our show or by retweeting us on Twitter positively, by reaching out to us behind the scenes. None of them have had an issue with the tone, except for you, bro. You are literally speaking for women here, and I'm sorry, but it's kind of a white knight move, bro. It's kind of a cringe male feminist thing to do.
Cuck move.
When there's like a group of women who aren't actually pissed off about a thing, and you're like, hey, I'm pissed off on behalf of these people who aren't even pissed about this thing in the first place. Well, hey, guess what, bro? Thanks for the fucking advice, but we'll take it from women. You know, we'll take this criticism from a fucking woman, from someone who has some skin in the game, not from your virtue signaling, pearl clutching ass. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much across the board, besides Anna Kasparian, we have a great working relationship with all of the women in the breadteam space. And we have an open door policy. If any of these guys who make content like this, if you have a comment or a question about the way that we presented something, like my girlfriend's a reporter, she's a woman, right? Sometimes I say shit on this microphone and then I go downstairs and I talk to her and she tells me she fucking disagrees with it and she didn't like the way that I fucking phrased that. And then I have that in my brain because I do care about criticism that comes from women. But like,
because the Vanguard has morals and TYT does not. You know why? Because they're millions of dollars. As soon as you start making that type of money, all other aspects of what you do go out the window. It's all about the money.
You know, I'll take it from Emma. I'll take it from Crystal Ball. I'll take it from, you know, somebody in my life that I care about. Not this guy who
all
is
amazing women.
Like, I'm the biggest feminist bro. You know, it's like, no, dude, like, okay, like touch grass, please. Like, go kick it with some people in real life. Like, Jesus Christ, the dehumanization of YouTubers. Like, you have a sanctions on Israel sign in the background. Does that not make you feel a little tone deaf? Like, and I can already tell all this guy's pushback, right? Like, you guys don't make serious enough content. It's like, no, dude, because you want to make the same exact kind of content that dozens of other people are already making. And people are already making that content. You know what people aren't doing? Media critique on the left. That's why you're losing your mind about it. And I also just think you have to suck it up and get tougher, dude. Like, I'm sorry, the comment section is gaslighting you. Like, don't read it. Like, close your eyes. Like, just fucking turn that shit off and go for a walk with your
Right?
homie. Smoke a joint. Live. The sun is shining, dude. Like, you cannot live your life obsessed with YouTube comments. It is a privilege. It is a privilege. And I just need to remind everybody that's been doing this on air for too long, because it's hard work. I'm not denying that. I do it every day with Gavin. We don't have a single employee. We do everything ourselves. But it's still a
You guys do amazing.
blessing, dude. It is such an insane privilege to be able to just do a YouTube show for a living. Even though you put all your blood, sweat, and tears into it, it's a gift to be somebody that gets to do this for a living. And so if you have to take a little shit from people who disagree with you in the comment section, like, grow up. Don't let them gaslight you. Have some conviction.
Yeah, and also it kind of bugs me how he keeps talking shit on our comment section. Now, in multiple points, he's acted like everyone in our comment section has, no substance. They just want an excuse to be mean and to bully Anna and be sexist. I don't see that at all in our comment section, bro. And I read most
Neither
of the
do I.
comments left in our videos. Obviously, sometimes you see people that are just like being hyperbolic or they're being like a jerk to be funny. But for the most part, people are posting substantive comments about their own experience with the Young Turks, what it means to them to see this evolution in real time. Like, I don't even see that in our comment section. So that's also pretty annoying that he would imply that about our community. That does make me a little bit defensive and protective over what we've built over here, because it is a lot more than just a bunch of angry misogynists that want an excuse to bash on women. And obviously he's presenting a little bit more nuance than that, but to reference our comment section in that light is a little bit aggravating to me.
And we still haven't gotten to hear any of our actual takes.
Yeah, he has yet to directly dispute or debunk anything.
Women's rights and all that
It's because you guys are doing the God's work, and he can't rebuttal with any actual factual proof.
stuff doesn't mean you can't have blind spots. And I'm not trying to say they can never criticize Anna Kasparian again, but I think the way they have
thanks
the
for the
conversation
permission,
around
bro.
her content and also how they talk about her sometimes as well, and maybe the over focus on her specifically, it, again, like the Sniper Wolf stuff, it relies on a certain degree of misogyny, and I think
this guy's forgetting that they are the biggest progressive media on YouTube. If you can't critique them, then who can you critique? Every critique out of their mouths have been valid. And that's why you have no true argument, man.
it takes a certain degree of misogyny to think about this content and not have a second thought about what are we really doing here? Because again, if you read the comments on these videos, there are obviously people leaving substantial critiques of Anna.
How I went from loving this woman to not even being able to stand her voice in less than 2 years is crazy. Amen. It will never not be funny that Cenk and Anna hemorrhage criticism yet are incapable of receiving it. Facts. Karen Kasparian has lost her damn mind. I second that. And you go through their comments, and there's all kinds of other good comments critiquing what the video was talking about. It's not just bullshit, but you don't pay attention. You see something and you bite.
Or substantial problem.
Karen
with
Kasparian
her.
has lost her damn
Most of the
mind.
comments are like
That's his
that.
best.
And I'm someone who's criticized Anna Kasparian a lot, and I'm someone who does.
Again, what the fuck, bro? You're gonna leave out the context of this video. This is a video where we talked about Anna Kasparian threatening us on the Young Turks live, threatening our channel, threatening to call the manager, threatening to nuke us into oblivion as a channel and copyright strike us for reacting to their content, for stealing their content. I mean, this is completely outrageous, bro. I'm sorry. I like this guy. He seems cool, yada, yada, yada. He seems like his heart's in the right place. But now you're just being dishonest, bro. Now you're just smearing
Nah, fuck the Cavernacle. We stand the Vanguard in this bitch.
us and our audience and not referencing the video that this comment section is under, where she literally was acting like a Karen. What the fuck do you want people to call her, bro?
Yeah, exactly. And let's just take a look at some of the videos that we've made over the years.
He doesn't want people to critique him. It's not that he doesn't want you guys to call her Karen. He just doesn't want you to critique him, which is not going to happen as long as she's on this right-wing pivot and isn't going to own up to her negative things that she's been doing. Then I believe the Vanguard is going to continue to critique him, rightfully so. This is what we need on the left. We need people to open their eyes and not let the biggest left-leaning, progressive, supposedly progressive news on YouTube red pilling people. They are doing God's work.
Of Jank and Anna. Let's see what kind of, because he's too afraid to show you guys. He showed you guys 3 thumbnails because he wants to portray it like we never make Jank look bad and we're only interested in being a misogynist. So here's the thumbnail Gavin made for Jank debating Sam Cedar, low rent grifter, right? The leaked audio, bozos. He doesn't show you guys this one, right? Where we make Jank look silly. We make Jank look silly here.
Well, Zach, what the audience doesn't know is that not only are we inherently misogynist, but we're also misandrist. I hate men too. That's why I make Jink also look like a bloviating idiot. So guilty as charged.
Yeah, it's crazy, guys. It's absolutely crazy. You have to be able to criticize the left. You have to be able to criticize the left.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, I like that person. I'm on their team. I'm not going to criticize them, because it makes any critique that you offer of the right seem totally, irrelevant. It doesn't hold any water, because you are just playing team sports at that point. You're not actually, participating in valid criticism, right? And
It's because this is all about politics for a lot of people. They don't truly care about people getting hurt. Vanguard, they're a little different. That's why we like them. That's why we ride with them. That's why we stand the Vanguard.
again, if this guy thinks we talk about Anna Kasparian too much, like, that's okay. The reason we talk about Anna Kasparian is because we're actually having a meaningful effect on changing the progressive media landscape right now. And we're using that to fund bigger and better opportunities for ourselves and our audience, where we go deep into places like Magaland, where we explore public transit in this country, where we look at the national parks in this country, right? Where we, really sink our teeth into, okay? And you're providing zero content, you're providing zero, what's the word I'm looking for? Like,
No idea.
fucking A. No, context. I kept wanting to say context. I had a little brain hurdle there, but anyway.
It was close, buddy.
Yeah,
we can
for
cut
sure.
that tangent out of
Oh, you're good. You're good. And he's literally just like, looking at fucking YouTube. These aren't even that mean of comments. He's sitting here pearl clutching over YouTube comments, and these aren't even that mean. They call it Anna Kasparian a Karen. Like, no one even used a naughty word. No one even said bitch or like the C word. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't even that
I will. Anna Kasparian is a bitch.
fucking bad. And either way, let's
One of them literally says really quickly, though, I've gone from unsubscribing to watching to just adjusting my settings to prevent TYT from appearing on my YouTube. I
Same.
miss John's work, but I'll get by. How is that antagonistic or unhinged at all?
And I'm someone who's criticized Anna Kasparian a lot, and I'm someone who does not agree with her right-wing pivot. I do not agree with a lot of stuff her and Jenk said. I think they're completely misusing their platform, and I don't actually understand what the point of their platform is at this point, because I don't think it's actually helping anyone, right? At the same time, if I saw Anna and Jenk on the street, if Jenk was like my football coach, if Anna was a colleague at work, would I think they're a terrible person? Would I think they're a terrible person who's deserving of like obsessive video critiques on them? And I get it, they're media personalities, right? They spew stuff every single day,
And
for
that's
hours and hours. At the same
obviously we wouldn't be making YouTube clips about some normal fucking anonymous citizen, some random football coach. Imagine making 20, 30, 40 videos about like the local football coach. This guy sucks. I don't like his politics. Yesterday he said that he was voting for Trump. Can you believe it? Like, obviously we wouldn't do that because no one would fucking watch it, bro. And because it doesn't matter what some rando thinks. The whole point of going after Anna and people like Anna is because they are media personalities with, yes, a large platform and a large reach. However much you want to downplay it and act like she's totally irrelevant, if that's true at all, it's because we made her fucking irrelevant, bro. They call themselves the #1 name in progressive news constantly, the biggest and longest running online progressive news show. Yeah, we have a reason for talking about it because it fucking matters, right? And
Fuck yeah, it matters. Go sign the petition, change.org/home_of_progressives. Let's give the home of the progressives to the Vanguard, the true progressives of the YouTube space.
this kind of plays into a bigger conversation that's been happening recently. But Sam Cedar, right? He did that Jubilee thing where 20 right wingers sat down and they all debated him and stuff. And one of the number one comments that went viral on Twitter, but Hassan also echoed this, was like a lot of these right wing people that Hassan was debating, they look like they should be leftists. They look like
Sam.
Oh, sorry, that Sam was debating. Yeah, they look like they should have been leftists, these people that Sam Cedar was going up against. But instead, they were arguing on behalf of Donald Trump and the Republican Party. People are like, why do all of these people that look like they should be normal lefties, why are they Republicans now? Well, why do you think we talk so much about the TYTs of the world and the Jimmy Dores of the world and the Matt Taibbis of the world? These channels, hosts, commentators, media companies that started out as progressive and then red pilled their fucking audience. Why do you think we are in the place we are right now as a nation? Because so many people have been told by their former progressive news source that it's actually okay to drift to the right. They've been given permission by Anna Kasparian. They've been given permission by Matt Taibbi or whoever. And obviously, no, it's not all about the Young Turks. You can't single-handedly blame Jink and Anna for what happened and the election of Donald Trump, the re-election of Donald Trump. But do I think it's relevant? Absolutely. Yes, I fucking do. YouTube is where most people get their fucking news right now. More people watch YouTube than cable news. It is a very influential place to fucking...
All I do is watch YouTube.
To talk about when you're discussing Americans' media habits and why they vote the way they vote and why they think the way they think. So yeah, is it relevant to discuss the number one name in progressive news red pilling their audience a year before a giant election? Yes, it is relevant. And I think it actually explains in great part why we are the way we are as a fucking country right now.
Same time, we have to think about the relevance here is we can all agree they're not that relevant. And even let's compare TYT to the Humanist Report. Look at the view counts.
Again, are we not going to get a fucking thank you here, bro? What the fuck is this? Oh, look how irrelevant they've become. Look how irrelevant they've got. And now all you have to do is fucking scold us.
Thank you, Vanguard.
Instead of say thank you.
Also, another great friend of the show. Shout out to Mike Figueredo.
Yeah, shout out to Mike. He's absolutely killing it.
We stand Mike.
Between them now, like TYT is dying.
And by the way, Mike is another person who 100% endorses our criticisms of the Young Turk and has literally come on our show to participate in that, criticizing.
And it's becoming less and less relevant. So what essentially Anna Kasparian is becoming in leftist YouTube, I don't think it's the correct term, but it reminds me of like lolcows, like Boogie, right? I don't know if I'm using it right, but it's like someone just becomes a character to make fun of. So no one's making videos on the left now saying Anna Kasparian has great take on this. It's she's unhinged, she's crazy, she's doing...
Also, this is such bullshit to minimize the role that Anna Kasparian is playing right now. She may just be a lol cow to you because you're like progressive and enlightened and shit. But your average dumb fuck idiot in this country, which by the way is the majority of people that fucking live in this country and vote.
I'm one of them.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what Anna is doing is actually meaningful, and it does actually give them permission because they think she's a smart person. It gives them permission to also go right wing. She's not just a lol
Not
cat.
that
She's not
stupid.
just a clown that everyone laughs at. In the same way that Tulsi Gabbard genuinely helped to manufacture consent for the fascism of MAGA, yeah, it is actually very powerful for the right wing to trot out some former progressive like Anna Kasparian to help manufacture consent for whatever odious, hideous policy they want to. And I think it's especially relevant to talk about this because Trump has just fucking declared the Alien Enemies Act, a 1789 law. 1798 law that has just been invoked by Donald Trump for deportations. Last invoked, by the way, to justify the Japanese internment during the Second World War. But guess what? Donald Trump used this law. Why do you think he invoked this law? It was specifically to target the Tren de Aragua gang members, which apparently like 200 or so of were rounded up and illegally deported on a plane with no due process, no proof that they were actually guilty of these crimes whatsoever, and sent to a jail cell in fucking El Salvador, an insanely infamous jail known for hardcore torture of people with no access to journalists or lawyers whatsoever. And again, what major fake news story was promoted months before the election to manufacture consent for exactly this? It was the fake news story promoted and propagandized on the Young Turks about the takeover of Aurora, Colorado apartment buildings by Trinda Aragua, that Anna Kasparian died on the fucking hill.
You know how I know all that was bullshit? Because I'm born and raised in Tucson, Arizona. If you don't know where Tucson, Arizona is, go on the map and look. I'm right next to the border. One of the main imports coming into America, the drugs have to come through Tucson. And there's been no change in the last 4 years. We have the same immigrants that we had 10 years ago. And most of those immigrants are out here working and doing good things. That's how I know all that shit was bullshit.
For, bro. She put it all out there, all her credibility, all her reputation on the line, said, this is true, and I'm going to spend hours and hours freaking out about it and propagandizing my audience, shitting on the left, red pilling my viewers. And now this is where we're at.
Not only that, Gavin, let's take a look at it. And this is all recent. This is very recent examples we're going after, right? So let's talk about the State of the Union address, right? We had her react to that. It was shitty. And then she
Go watch my reaction on the State of the Union address. It was just a whole bunch of lies and jerking himself off.
goes on to do a bunch of ICE propagandizing, attacking sanctuary cities. Okay, Anna Kasparian was like, "Why don't these sanctuary cities just, go along with ICE? These are bad people, right?" Basically, 100% spewing talking points that you would get from Fox News. We reacted to all of it to give context and to debunk her lies about sanctuary cities, her lies about.
I would not be surprised if one day in the future Anna Kasparian becomes a Fox News host.
Mayor Michelle Wu. We went out of our ways to do journalism. We had on the Boston City Council president, Ruthie Louis-Jean, to talk about how that was a misrepresentation of what was going on in Boston, right? That it wasn't so much that they were not cooperating with the federal government. It was that the federal government did not have a legal right to detain these individuals and remove them from Boston, right? They couldn't get a warrant. Okay. And we had this entire, conversation about how we have to protect people's rights in sanctuary cities and that Donald Trump is brazenly violating those rights. And we had on a very qualified lawyer from Harvard who is now.
It's because people on the right don't care about other people's rights unless it's their own.
I say again, the Boston City Council president to debunk the Fox News talking points that were coming from what is supposedly the home of progressives. So again, Mr. Kavernacle, you said nobody on the left is reacting to Anna Kasparian videos positively. No shit. That's because people on the right are. People on the right are praising Anna Kasparian. People on the right are talking about how she's finally waking up. You reacted to Jillian Michaels having her on and talking about how she was officially leaving the left. Right now, I want to know if you have the same smoke that you have that, oh, this is misogynist coded, and oh, these guys are just naive and they don't understand what they're doing and they don't understand their own blind spots. Did you have that smoke for, people who were constantly dunking on Dave Rubin when he was the why I left the leftist? Did you have that same smoke for people who were dunking on Jimmy Dore when he was the why I left the leftist? Did you have that same smoke for any of these people who were like, I'm going to run to the right and talk about how because of pronouns, I am going to be a Republican because of the unhoused and drugs and all the dirtiness in our country and the illegals, right? I have to become a Republican because the left just doesn't want to do anything about it. Did you have any of this smoke for them? Or is it because you feel like you need to make this woman a damsel in distress so you can rescue her? I smell a misogynist in the room, and it ain't me and Gavin.
Me too.
She's doing this. Oh my God, she's a fascist. She's right wing, all that stuff. And it's very sensationalized. And I can understand how that actually does make someone go crazy. So if she is actually going crazy from all these videos, I totally get it because I nearly went crazy.
Nah, she was going crazy. That's why these videos are being made. Other way around, buddy.
From reading all these comments today. And that's just one day of reading random comments on Reddit and YouTube. I don't expose myself to this and I don't go looking for it. And again, we have to remember, even with someone like Anna Kasparian, she's been in this space for way longer than us. So she's been subject to this for years and years and years. And we have to take this into account sometimes when we're criticizing someone. Like, how much are we dehumanizing people and how much are we relying on things like misogyny or racism or transphobia or whatever when we go after people with bad ideas? And how bad are they that they're worth certain things, right? how bad is Sniper Wolf really? Does she deserve 33 videos that just drum up loads of hate against her? I would argue no.
I don't even know who the fuck that is.
Me
So,
neither.
she deserves so much focus compared to everyone else. I would also say no. Yes, criticize her, criticize Jenk, criticize their bad takes. As a leftist as well, you must realize over focusing on individuals, especially individuals who don't really represent anything. Like, who do Anna and Jenk represent? What systems?
The
do they represent?
largest
What type of
progressive
politics
network
do they
on
represent?
YouTube.
Like the fading world of like naive centrism. I don't know, something like that. Is it something you should direct a lot of your focus onto? And also, one more thing on the Vanguard, and I'll speak to this because they're a smaller channel. The views on that Anna Kasparian videos usually do better, and also their views are really
Guy's a
good.
genius.
And as someone who makes a full-time living off YouTube, primarily on ad revenue, their success recently with their views, I do think there's a degree of audience capture. And as a creator, you always have videos you know are going to do well. So if you have a couple bad ones, you can just throw one out. So for me recently, which is weird, I made one on the cyber.
Okay, first of all, this is insulting. We're not audience captured. We've battled our audience multiple fucking times. We've gone to war with our audience. We've burned this fucking channel down literally several times. We're the opposite of audience captured. Second of all, we've been talking about TYT since the very beginning. It's always been one of the biggest beats of this show. Because it's something that we both have a lot of interest in discussing. Yeah, YouTubers talk about what they're interested in. TYT is a channel that I've literally watched since 2014, 2015.
Yeah, you guys don't, a lot of you may not realize that, yeah, the Vanguard has been popping off this last year, but they've been on YouTube for years talking about this shit.
I know a lot about it. I have a lot to say about the hosts and the ideologies present on that network and the history of it. I think it speaks to the history of progressive media. I think it speaks to the importance of progressive media during Bernie Sanders and what happened afterwards, right? There's a lot of reasons to discuss this, but it's actually not true to say that only our Anna videos do well or they always do better than other ones. Recently, we put out a very spicy Anna Kasparian video. It got 74,000 views. The next day, we put out one about Jimmy Dore and, or sorry, Joe Rogan and Kyle Kalinske. It got 95,000 views. That one literally did 20,000 views more than our super spicy Anna Kasparian goes on a rant video, right?
Our PBD video.
Joe Rogan's another one that's red pilled his audience. Crazy, because I used to love Joe Rogan back in the day. Now I can't even listen to the guy for more than 10 minutes.
Videos do really well. We'll get like 85,000, 90,000 views when we criticize Patrick Bet David or Patrick Bateman as we have him on.
Yeah,
calling him
exactly.
on the podcast. Yeah.
Exactly. And again, it's not even just because of the fact that it's Anna. It's what Anna's doing right now. If Anna wasn't fucking doing anything, her name wouldn't necessarily be that hot in the algorithm.
Yeah.
The reason why it's hot in the algorithm is because she is going so crazy, embarrassing herself to such a crazy extent that, yeah, people kind of do want to see what happens next, right? She's made it hard to look away from for your average.
Hell yeah, we want to watch her burn. We want to watch her hit the ground. We want to watch her whole life destroyed. No, we just want her to stop spewing this bullshit.
Viewer. And we've just tapped into that, I suppose, but we do that no matter who's the scandal is related to, right? Yeah, we're always going to cover the drama. If Kyle Kalinske started going on Glenn Beck and shitting on the left, if Kyle Kalinske started going to America Fest to sit down for a fuck,
I bet my life that Kyle Kalinske will never do that. We stand Kyle Kalinske in this channel too. If you haven't watched him, go watch him. He will change your perception on society within 2 weeks of watching him.
fucking nice chit chat with Charlie Kirk where he shits on the left and praises the right. Do you think for a fucking second that we would ignore that, bro? Do you think for a fucking second
Hell no.
if someone like Kyle started engaging in just as blatant and fucking undignified a pivot that Anna's in the middle of and that she has been in the midst of, do you not think we would talk about that? Of course we would, bro. It's not our fault that Anna happens to be the one doing this at the moment. But we'll talk about whoever it is. We spent months and months talking about Jimmy Dore. We spent a whole month talking about Vosh and a stupid porn folder leak that wasn't even all that substantive. It had nothing to do with politics. Like, yeah, we'll talk about the fucking drama, but we don't choose who is the one creating the drama. We just talk about it.
Yeah, and also I think this is true. Like, it's not clickbait to talk about what Anna Kasparian is doing, but yeah, he definitely has a problem with shit that he views as drama, and it's because these guys have such a huge stick up their ass. They think they're better than other YouTubers. Like, they do not want to address the fact that they are on YouTube. Okay, you're not Gandhi, bro.
You not think we would talk about that? Of course we would, bro. It's not our fault that Anna happens to be the one doing this at the moment. But we'll talk about whoever it is. We spent months and months talking about Jimmy Dore. We spent a whole month talking about Vosh and a stupid porn folder leak that wasn't even all that substantive. It had nothing to do with politics. Like, yeah, we'll talk about the fucking drama, but we don't choose who is the one creating the drama. We just talk about it.
Yeah, and also I think this is true. Like, it's not clickbait to talk about what Anna Kasparian is doing, but yeah, he definitely has a problem with shit that he views as drama, and it's because these guys have such a huge stick up their ass. They think they're better than other YouTubers. Like, they do not want to address the fact that they are on YouTube. Okay, you're not Gandhi, bro. You're not leading the revolution. You're not going to start the general strike tomorrow. You're making content for people who are living under the boot of late stage capitalism, and you can make whatever content you want. Like, you're not breaking news when you tell our audience, like, these guys put the stuff in the headline that they think is going to do the best in the algorithm. Like, yeah, water's wet, you dummy. That's how playing on the internet is. That's how it works, right? We're not news guys. I don't call myself a journalist. Okay, I call myself an entertainer and a podcaster. Okay, yeah, I play the search engine optimization game. Okay, because I don't want to be irrelevant. And these guys think there's some sort of like glory or sophistication and being like, I only talk about things that are serious. I only talk about misogyny amongst niche YouTubers on the internet. I only talk about the dehumanization of the YouTuber. Let's talk about the dehumanization of this person who all they do is bash trans people. You know, let's really feel how it feels to be them. You know, they have 6 million subscribers and they've basically been running
Thank you, Billy. Trans rights or else.
into obscurity. You know, let's talk about that because, you know, that's the nuts and bolts of resisting fascism from my home.
I'm
you know,
on Team
thousands of
Vanguard too.
miles away from where any of these people live. You know what I mean? It's crazy to me, dog. Like, you're making YouTube videos, and sometimes YouTube videos are informative, and sometimes so is shit on the Discovery Channel, right? It can be a blend of both, right? You can do the news, or you can go and you can do a podcast about people who make the news. You can do whatever you want in this life, and it's just baffling to me that you think you're telling our audience something. We used to sing a spoonful of sugar to help the medicine go down to everybody at the beginning of our live stream to talk about why we put these ridiculous fucking headlines in. Yeah, it's so we can have their ears when they're listening to the hot gossip, something that is universal, something that is amongst all humans. Wherever you go
You guys got my ears.
in this world, people love tea, okay? Here at the Casa del Vanguard, we don't pretend that we're not human beings. We don't pretend that we like to be entertained. We just also happen to have convictions about our politics.
Yep, 100%. And by the way, guess what? There's good news for Anna Kasparian. There is actually a way to make us stop making videos about her. It's for her to fucking come back to reality, to come back to sanity, to come back to decency and humanity. Because that's ultimately what we'd want more than anything, even if it costs us the golden goose that we have right now, you know, this money pinata, which admittedly it is. Yeah, she can just come back to the left. She can apologize to Ben Dixon, to Emma Vigeland, to the people that she's smeared. She can apologize to the trans activist community, for example, and to the people that she's totally thrown under the bus because someone was mean to her online, right? We would welcome that. We would have her on the show and say, hey, it's all good. Welcome back to the left. We'd love to see you spit facts again. We'd love to see you on our team again because you were on fire at one point. And again, we'd love to welcome you back to the team. Same goes with Jank, and you can call that naive, whatever, but I am a forgiving person, and I think the left should be a forgiving movement, right? So yeah, that's the way to make us stop mocking you and criticize you. Just stop being a vicious Karen. You know what I'm saying? It's not that hard. There is a path to redemption.
I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, if ever. I think she's a lost cause. Sad to say, but I think she's a lost cause. Once you've been red pilled, it's hard not to become unred pilled.
Yeah, 100%. So it's just it is a corporate media critique that we have turned into a soap opera for all of you guys. And if you think you're somehow breaking news by saying that to our audience, it's because you think our audience is dumb when they're actually really smart, right? Like, our audience are very reflective of how like, this guy just totally underestimated the people who watch our show. He thinks you guys are all stupid, all that kind of shit, right? Oh, you're just falling for the silly and Billy bit, right? He doesn't understand that it's a head fake, right? That's all part of our plan. That, yeah, we do call ourselves Silly and Billy. Yeah, we do like to get in the mud. Yeah, we do like to talk about the hot gossip, but we'll also always back it up with a little bit of medicine. You know, a little bit of here's the what's what. Here's what's going down in the world. That's how we do our show. Kavernacle can do his show however he wants, but if he keeps making videos about us, boy, we're going to turn up the heat. And I saw some people in the chat being like, you guys are so worked up about this. I'm like, my brother in Christ, look at any piece of content from me. Okay. I am a hothead on the microphone. Put a mic in front of me, I'll start screaming. I can't help it. Like
It's why we love you, buddy.
I don't have any bad blood or animosity towards this Kavernacle guy.
Zach and I will get pissed at each other over like dumb shit that doesn't even matter if we disagree about it. You know, we'll just like start getting heated for no reason.
Oh yeah, the fashion argument was a great example of that.
Yeah, I'll be like, oh, you disagree with me on that? Well, fuck you. Let's talk about it. That's just the way it goes. Yeah, we're not at all genuinely upset. And you know, I have no problem with people criticizing us. In fact, one issue I have with this video is that he didn't actually fucking genuinely offer a substantive criticism, because I'm open to it. But there was nothing he debunked. There was no lie or disinformation that he exposed. He actually seemingly agrees with our coverage. He just doesn't like our tone.
Yeah.
And that's the issue with this. It really just ultimately fucking amounts to pearl clutching, which honestly, as I've said before, I will not abide. I'm sorry, but if you have a substantive fucking criticism for me, then come to me, you know, come at me. We'll fucking talk about it. Let's hash it out, but I will not fucking abide your lame ass 2016 era fucking pearl clutching over the fact that some people in our comment, some people in our fucking audience said Karen. That's the substance of your criticism, and the fact that we're more relevant and getting more fucking views than you now or something. Sorry, dude, but I will not fucking abide the pearl clutching. I'm not going to be pearl clutched. No, we're going to do the content.
The reason they're getting so big is because their content speaks to so much of us. Like TYT's content used to speak to us before they went red pilled.
The way we do it, and the reason why it's successful, is because people on the left want someone to meet the right wing where they're at. They want someone like the Vanguard to fight fire with fire, and that's what we've done. You know, no, we're not just going to treat the Anna Kasparian as a lol-cal situation. No, we're actually going to treat it as the serious threat that it is, and we're not going to fucking stand for it, which is why we take the tone we take, and which is why people fucking like the content.
Yeah, and everybody's
It is why we will stand with the Vanguards.
like, have Kavernacle on the show. Dude, he's welcome on the show. He didn't reach out to us for shit before he made that video. So, you know, make of that what you will. But he's welcome to come on and you know, level these criticisms to our face. Something tells me that probably won't happen. But, you know.
Oh, yeah, we happily chat with the dude. Like Zach said, have not been reached out to. But, again, if he actually wanted to take an issue with any claim we made or any substantive thing we brought up, I'd love to hear it, bro. I'm more than happy to make a retraction if I got something wrong. But like I said, I'm not going to sit here and be pearl clutched at and have you wag your finger at me because I was mean. Like one of my fucking third graders, you know, and the teacher's like, let's not be so mean to each other. Let's all get along.
Yeah.
Like, no, let's not all fucking get along. This is not the political era we're in to let bygones be bygones and just let Anna be a fucking insane Karen spouting unhinged right-wing rhetoric on her corner of the internet unaccountable. Fuck no.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, fuck that shit. This is real life. This affects people. This isn't just politics to some of us.
really does is it's like the left, it reveals the left is losing because everybody that has a position of power or a media platform, for the most part, they are all hall monitors. You guys are all hall monitors, man. You love bureaucracy, you love rules, you love, you know, having, you know, good formal buttoned up behavior, right? None of you guys understand that the way real people communicate in real life is they have fucking disagreements. They bicker. You guys are also terminally online. You ever heard of an argument before? Again, I don't want to reference that Bill Burr exchange so much, but there is this instinct with people who are liberals and left leaning a lot of the time.
Obviously, to be annoying as fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. And not only that, but they are afraid of any level of heat turning up. They're afraid of any level of disagreement. If you forcefully articulate somebody back to me, guys, we're talking about fascism. We're talking about transphobia. We're talking about ardent bigotry. We're talking about people who have houses to live in. Okay. And you're blaming bad situations on them. You're talking about these fucking weed smokers and crack pipe users. They're the ones that are burning down the Palisades. Okay. That's what's happening on TYT. So yeah, these are things that inspire a lot of debate. But Gavin and I will debate just as passionately, like, you know, was American Beauty really good or not? You know what I mean? We will just debate. That's how human beings are. If you're passionate people, you're going to do that a little bit. I even like have that problem with my old man. Like we'll be talking about something and he'll be like, whoa, chill out. I'm just trying to like, you know, I'm like, sorry. I just get worked up.
I have that same way with my mama, and she tells me you'll never be able to win the argument if you can't keep your cool. But that's why I'm just here commenting on other people's videos, not trying to debate somebody. Because I'm too much of a hothead when it comes to shit like this that affects me, affects other people I know, and affects people I don't know. This is real life shit. And if you don't stand up for something, you'll fall for anything.
You know what I mean? And I think that, and my dad's not a liberal. Like, he's happy to debate too, but sometimes I'm a little extra. I'll admit that. But when you're just out and about talking to people, like, yeah, bar arguments, bar debates. I was a bartender for a long time. People love to talk shit, debate, and get in each other's grills a little bit. There's something human about that. It's a release valve for people, and a lot of people don't get to experience it in their lives. So Gavin and I get to help them along, experience it vicariously. Send a super chat, be a part of the conversation. We react to every single super chat on our show. You can't say that we're audience captured. Of course, we make more money when we use search engine optimization.
See, if the Cavernacle had actually watched some of the Vanguard's content, they would see that when those little comments pop up on the bottom and Gavin and Zach don't agree with them, they argue their points back. They don't just sit there and agree with every little comment that's made because they're true to what they believe in.
If I titled my video Zach and Gavin 1, Zach and Gavin 2, Zach and Gavin 3, we wouldn't perform as well. You're not breaking news, dog. And I am happy to say publicly that TYT's fall has been the Vanguard's rise, because we're the new home of progressives and we're proud of it.
Yep, 100%, 100%.
Like I said, probably third or fourth time in this video, go sign the petition, change.org/home_of_progressives. It's time to make the Vanguard the new home of progressives.
And again, you're welcome. You're welcome for helping to make them fucking irrelevant. You want to sit here? Oh well, they're so irrelevant. I wonder if there's any correlation to the hard, good work the Vanguard boys have been doing. Who would have thunk it? But yeah, shout out to the Kavernacle. We do appreciate some criticism, and we actually reacted to basically the entirety of the segment he did on the Vanguard. We're not going to watch his entire 50-minute fucking video like some of you guys want us to, but
I'll watch your whole 50-minute video, guys.
Unlike the TYT, for example, who just want to shadow box with us and straw man our criticisms. No, we'll actually respond to what people are saying about this channel. We'll hear them out and we'll say what we think in response. And that's what happened. So, proud to do it, happy to do it. And it was pretty entertaining too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Without further ado, though, that makes for a great return to the ring. Oh, wait, really quickly, I did just want to throw this up there. I don't want this person to be accused of, misogyny because they were willing to associate with us. But I did want to go ahead and just throw this out up here. We did have a knight in shining armor show up to our rescue on Twitter the other day. And so let's just throw it up. Shout out to, oh gosh, here we go. Shout out to Emma V over at the Majority Report, who has recently, in a bit, we'll lecture
We stand the Majority Report in this chat for sure.
her when we get her back on and let her know that it's unhelpful to do voices when you're talking about women broadcasters because they're sensitive and they can't handle it apparently. But when you're defining winning the battle of ideas, Dave Rubin voice in response to her threatening to nuke our channel.
Yeah, play that audio again just in case anyone forgot, because this is why people are calling her a Karen, because she's a fucking Karen and you can't argue it after watching this.
Yep.
I think TYT is insane for not copyright striking channels who take our content from our members only bonus episode, which is intentionally behind a paywall.
So she can talk shit on other commentators without any retribution.
And so she can put that same stuff that's behind a paywall up on their public channel for anybody else to see. If it was that important, we wouldn't be able to watch members only content when we're not members. But it's not that important. You're just mad that they're finding out the shit you're talking behind the scenes.
Just a warning to those channels, we will nuke the fuck out of you. Okay, if you're gonna steal content from paid walled members only content.
Fuck you, that. Anna.
Anyway, weird to start with that, but come on, guys.
Very weird.
Fucking reason. Okay, it's insane when you see that happen. People steal our content all the time.
Again, he's more mad at us for calling her a Karen than he is at her for being a Karen. Isn't that?
There's a difference between stealing content and using content to critique it. called fair use. Look into it, Anna.
I just hate that tone policing. It's like say whatever you want about us, but what about her? Like, okay, you're mad at us for accurately identifying her, and you don't like the tone in which we did it. But where's your smoke for the fact that she was being the Karen? Where's your fact for the fucking? Where's your smoke for the fact that she's totally betraying her supposed defense of free speech right here and throwing smaller YouTube channels under the bus by threatening them with copyright strikes, a system which corporations like TYT constantly abuse to infringe upon the free speech rights of smaller creators like us.
Well, Gavin, I already criticized her 3 separate times on my YouTube channel, and that's the appropriate maximal amount of time that you're allowed to do that. Now, if I'd have done it, say, 15 or 20 times, that would have been ridiculous. Now, the other thing that people might have proposed to Anna Kasparian or reminded her, she thinks reacting to other people's content is stealing it. Okay, that was TYT's bread and butter for 15 years, was reacting to content, and still is. And by the way, every single piece of mainstream media news that they've reacted to over the years has been behind the paywall of the cable box, but because of fair use protections, if it's newsworthy and you transform it, you're allowed to watch it and react to it. And it's not illegal and it's not stealing. It's called fair use. And if the guy that runs your network wants to keep running for president and talking about how he leads the biggest news outlet for progressives on YouTube, then yeah, his content is going to be up for grabs under fair use. And that is why TYT, despite your tantrums, doesn't come after people, because they know it is a horrible turn for them. And they have to admit that they're a for-profit entertainment company and not a news outlet if they're going to start copyright striking us for reacting to members only content.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, honestly, the more I think about this attempt to criticize the Vanguard, the more this was a huge L for the Kavernacle. I'm sorry, bro. Like I said, I've appreciated some of your commentary in the past, but yeah, literally, this guy legit talked about YouTube and Reddit comments and tried to tie them into the Vanguard specifically somehow. Yeah, and random Reddit comments that he was getting that he felt was unfair. He was like, so I can really relate, because some people were also just mean to me this morning on Reddit, and it really does suck when people are mean to you online, even though I didn't deserve it, and I'm admitting that Anna did, and that
if you don't like people being mean to you online, then get the fuck offline.
The Vanguard is actually correct in the substance of their criticism. I just don't like the tone in which they delivered said criticism, and I didn't like a few of the cherry picked comments under the videos. Like, that's literally what this amounts to, guys. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean, but we just reacted to the entirety of his criticism of us, and yeah, that was bullshit.
Alrighty, y'all, go subscribe to the Vanguard on YouTube. And that's it for today. Hey, y'all, go subscribe to me on Twitch, on YouTube, and on TikTok. My Twitch and YouTube are J_Crispy, and my TikTok is JCrispy. Alrighty, have a good day.